Tonight on KSL Outdoors.
The clock's running for Bud Streeter.
The show has gone to the dogs.
So cute.
And to the bears. Deep into a bear den on the LaSalle Range. I'm Adam Eakle, and KSL Outdoors starts right now.
KSL Outdoors with Adam Eakle is brought to you by your local Ford stores.
Thanks for tuning in to KSL Outdoors. I'm Adam Eakle. This is my daughter Taylor Eakle, and we are just south of Moab over on the LaSalle Range, and we are headed into a bear den, something you've never done before.
Learning it in wildlife biology, and
yeah,
it's perfect timing.
Yeah, good time to go and check it out. And you know, biologists are always on the lookout, always studying the bears down here and across the state. We're hoping to see some cubs.
There you go.
We're gonna head up here and check out two bears that we've got collared up here. They're both females. The interesting thing about this bear, the first one that we're going to, is that it actually won one of your snapshots of the week.
It did?
It was 2 summers ago.
And finally, our winner tonight caught a bear bathing in a tub.
There's a bear sitting in a water trough looking up at the mountains.
Yeah, he's like he's taking a bath.
Yep.
In a hot tub.
Yep. So,
Awesome.
So that should be this first bear. We're looking at these bear dens as part of a study where we look at production from year to year, see how many cubs that they have. We also look at survival if they have yearling cubs in there with them.
Both of the adult bears we're going to show you tonight were trapped near a residential area near Moab. Biologists relocated them some 40 miles away. Both have returned near to where they were trapped, but so far, they've both stayed out of trouble.
She's just on the other side of the drainage right here, so we'll have everybody else stay up here and we'll just go get done what we need to and then bring them in. Dad's right here, right under that tree. Got a hole in the dirt and down in there, so I can hear the cubs up there.
You know, I've seen quite a few bear dens, but nothing like this one. Usually, they're under a log, cliff, or a boulder. This sow dug her den under the roots of a cedar tree. She's hibernating, but
We're gonna have to dart her. She's awake. Probably about a 250-pound bear. She looked like she's a bigger bear.
based on her estimated weight, biologists will now mix up a cocktail of drugs to knock her out.
So it's ketamine and xylazine, a mixture of that. The ketamine pretty well knocks them out. The xylazine just kind of, it makes it easy on them so that they're not so stressed out.
The drugs are loaded into a dart that will be shot by an air gun into the bear. Dustin drew the short straw today and will be diving into the den to go face to face with this groggy bear. Can you hear that? That sound is called clacking or jaw popping. The sow is protecting her cubs and letting Dustin know he's an unwelcome guest in her den.
She's alert in there, and so we can put those backpacks in front of the den just to keep her in there more so and keep the stress levels down on her. So. And try to be as quiet as we can. Now we wait about 7 minutes, wait for the drugs to take effect on her, and then we'll go in and see what she's got for cubs. And you can hear cubs. You can hear cubs, yeah. Any idea how old this bear is? Last year I was guessing she's about 4 years old. I think she might be asleep. Her head's down. Go ahead and pull her. Hey. Hey.
The sow is asleep. Now to see how many babies she has.
I can hear them, but I can't see them. I think she's kind of covering them up.
Their eyes are still closed, so they're probably maybe 3 weeks old.
I only see the one. Did you see two?
I didn't see it, just sounded like it.
Oh yeah, there it is.
The biologists can now work on the sow while our crew babysit the cubs.
We want to reduce the stress on these as much as possible, so leaving the sow in the den here so we don't have to handle her very much and move her around. That's what we're after.
Guy will now cut the old radio collar off
Out with the old, in with the new.
and put a new one on. Biologist will also give the sow a quick once-over and put some Vicks Vapor Rub on her nose to mask the smell of our presence.
She'll be groggy for a while, and then she'll come back through, and I've seen them come out, and they're just fine. Go back to nursing and taking care of their little ones.
Keep it warm, Taylor. Get your coat over it.
His little claws are like so cute.
We'll have more with the baby bears in a moment, plus we'll visit another den. But first, let's test your bear knowledge in tonight's Burt Brothers Quiz Question. Bears are the youngest of the carnivore families, having arisen from dog-like ancestors some 55 to 38 million years ago. Modern bears first appeared in Eurasia around 5 million years ago. These bears were relatively small animals, but some types eventually grew quite large. Our Burt Brothers Quiz Question tonight is, what is the largest bear to ever roam North America? The answer when KSL Outdoors, powered by Ford, returns to LaSalle's.
KSL Outdoors is also brought to you by Fish Tech Outfitters, Utah State Parks, Burt Brothers, Sportsman's Warehouse, Evanston, Wyoming, and Camp Chef.
Welcome back to the LaSalle Mountains. More bears in a moment, but first, tonight's answer to our Burt Brothers Quiz Question. And our question is, what is the largest bear to ever roam North America? And here's the answer. The extinct giant short-faced bear stood 6 feet tall at the shoulders, and on 2 feet he stood nearly 12 feet tall. The short-faced bear became extinct about 11,000 years ago. Many scientists believe this bear could run nearly 40 miles per hour despite weighing over 1,500 pounds, and was the largest carnivorous land mammal that ever lived in North America.
Sportsmen in general, you know, we want to see the control of predators, but it's really cool to see predators in this sense. I mean, this is an amazing experience for sure. And LaSalle has a super healthy bear population. We know that, so it's pretty neat to see them up close and personal in a different way.
The best data we have is based on our harvest. What our sportsmen are out when they harvest bears, we can learn a lot about a bear population by what is harvested, the proportion of females in a population, the age of the bears harvested, and things like that. Our bear population is steadily growing over the last couple of years. We've been able to increase opportunity for hunting in the last couple of years because of it, and they're solid.
Looks good.
The biologists are done working on Mom, and it's time to put the rugrats back into the den. The entire process only took about 30 minutes. The sow will awake in about another half hour.
You see, they're already nursed. They're trying to get up there and nurse.
They then cover the entrance to the den with sticks and brush.
There we go. That looks pretty good.
The last thing is they attach a trail camera near the entrance of the den to gather more information after we've left.
We see some things we didn't know before. The cubs, we wondered how cubs learn to shred material and bring it into the den, make a nest inside the den. And we found that the females in the spring, they'll take the cubs out and they'll teach them. They'll actually go and shred bark off trees and they'll drag it back in, and pretty soon you watch and the cubs will start doing it.
There's just enough time to look for one more collared bear.
Yeah, there's two that have denned in this canyon, another female, and this one's likely to have a yearling with her.
The last one you pretty much knew where it was. These ones?
This one will probably, she's got a radio collar, so we'll probably have to use telemetry to locate her den.
It takes a few minutes, but biologists pinpoint the den on one of the steepest cliff faces in the canyon.
It goes about 20 feet back, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a yearling in there too.
They then tranquilized both bears, replaced this sow's collar as well, and give the yearling an ear tag.
When would you expect these bears to start coming out of their den?
They'll start coming out in March. They'll actually come in and out. They go out almost daily. Go out and wander around a little bit. That lasts 3 weeks to a month, and then they disappear.
Does it ever get old?
No, these days don't get old. Sometimes you get tired, and I'm getting old, but...
What do you think of that?
Pretty cool.
Eyes aren't even open, huh? Our biologists do a great job here in Utah, managing our wildlife, and especially the bears. Not just the deer and the elk, but the bears, the cougars, everything as well. What a cute little guy. Hey, more here coming up on KSL Outdoors in a moment.
The clock's running for Jerry Bath. Good luck, Jerry.
We'll show you the Eukanuba Stage Stop dog sled race that passed through Evanston.
But first, back to the guys at Fish Tech for tonight's fishing report.
Hi, I'm Mickey Anderson from Fish Tech with this week's late season ice fishing report. Late season ice fishing success depends on being able to move around a lot. One of the problems though is the amount of slush that's on top of the ice. Water melts out of the snow, settles down, and the snow over top of it will insulate it. The only way that's going to freeze back up is if you step through it or a snowmobile track goes through it. Find a place where somebody else has already done that and you'll be able to walk on top of that slush. Next part about late season ice fishing is you're drilling through some deep ice. If your auger is not working right, first thing I want you to check is the cover. Make sure you took the cover off. If it's not working still, check your blades and see if there's a burr on the bottom. And you can feel that just by dragging your thumbnail across. If you ever find that, get a piece of cardboard or a piece of leather, and you can actually buff that off with this. Don't use a steel. If you use a sharpening stone and you touch this side of your blade, you've ruined them. Here's how you sharpen them when they are on the auger. Lay it even to the bevel and go side to side. And you can sharpen it this way. Make sure you just go side to side. Make sure you never touch the bottom of the blade. If you touch the bottom, come on down and we'll sell you a whole new set of blades because you're gonna need to start over. For these tips or a whole lot more, come on down to Fish Tech and we'll help you out. Now for tonight's fishing run.
Welcome back to KSL Outdoors. I'm Adam Eakle. Well, for our next adventure, we've moved to Evanston, Wyoming, the hub of adventure for southwestern Wyoming and even into the high Uintas. You know, some of the best sled dog racers are in town for the Eukanuba Stage Stop dog sled race, and everybody is chasing six-time champion Blaine Buddy Streeper.
3, 2, 1. There he goes. Bruce Magnuson is on the trail.
The Stage Stop race is similar to Tour de France.
The clock's running for Jerry Bath. Good luck, Jerry.
So each day we run a different trail in a different community, averaging about 40 miles. We accrue time, so there's a cumulative overall time, and then there's also the daily times.
Traveling through 8 towns and 4 states, the Eukanuba Stage Stop dog sled race is the only race of its kind in the world. There are 13 teams from Alaska, Canada, Michigan, Minnesota, even Lander, Wyoming. Today is the last stage of the race, the mushers say. Usually by this time, the dogs' feet are a bit sore, their muscles a bit stiff. But you wouldn't know it by the excitement in their voices.
This is a prestigious event. This is our Super Bowl of the year.
Buddy has won this event 6 times, including 5 of the last 6 years. He entered today's final leg with a huge 24-minute lead.
The clock's running for Bud Streeper. He's got 41 miles to hang on to his lead.
I just wanted to have a good, clean run, keep all the dogs happy and safe throughout the technical portions of this trail. And once we hit that point was behind us, then I let the dogs run at their natural ability.
Today's climb started in Wyoming, where the teams then had to conquer the 10,000-foot peaks of the high Uinta Mountains. That didn't deter Buddy's team from claiming the day's fastest time and the overall shortest cumulative time. Buddy won the 8-day event with 31 minutes to spare.
Good job, Al Borak.
It was great to race with all these competitors. We have the best vets, the best race judges, the best trails. It was a great event. Even though it's not called the World Championship, this is the big one for us. The dogs just did amazingly, and that's the most important thing, is how the dogs did, and I'm very happy with it.
Coming off the trail, Alex Stamen.
Streeper Kennels had 2 teams in the race, and not only did Buddy win, his team member, Alex Stegman, took 2nd place overall.
Every musher has their own blueprint of how they want to do things, but I think because we go into every single detail, how we want to run our dogs, how we go down hills, how we go up hills, how we do our own feeding, no one can beat us at that.
As far as purse is concerned, we are the 2nd largest sled dog race in the world.
Second only to
the Iditarod.
Between cash and prizes, the purse is well over $195,000. Every team takes home a share. But the real winners here are the communities that support this unique event.
You know, they make their money by winning the races and eventually having their kennels and selling their dogs and stuff. And so it's a big deal for them.
They like to come up and talk to you, ask how you're doing, give you a handshake, might get to know you. I love Wyoming. I love Utah. I love the lower 48s in general, especially the northern parts.
And Alex's love of the U.S. should only get stronger as his second place finish should buy his team a lot of gas and dog food.
It buys quite a bit.
Time now to head down a different trail in tonight's Utah Field Guide. It's one sure sign that Old Man Winter is on his way out. It's the sound of the lesser snow geese and their annual congregation in the area around Delta. Each February, thousands of these beautiful white birds use the fields and waters between the Clear Lake Wildlife Management Area and the town of Delta as a rest stop on their northern migration. These geese spend the winter in the Imperial Valley in California. While there, they feed and prepare for their 3,000-mile trip to Canada's Northwest Territories. Around the second week in February, they begin to arrive around Delta. It's a wildlife site unparalleled in Utah, and you're invited to take part in the spectacle. On February 26th and 27th, the town of Delta rolls out the red carpet for these white birds for their annual Snow Goose Festival. Utah Division of Wildlife Biologists will be on hand with scopes and binoculars, as well as expertise to find the birds and answer any questions. For more information on the festival, check out their website at deltagoosefestival.com.
Boy, great weather today for the sled dog race here just outside of Evanston. Great weather for ice fishing, snowmobiling, even cross-country skiing. Hey, let's find out that recreation forecast for your next outdoor adventure by turning it over to the guys and gals in the weather department. Welcome back to KSL Outdoors, back here down on the LaSalle's. I'm Adam Eakle. Hey, don't forget, if you're looking for some ideas, maybe some ice fishing events to get your family into the outdoors, you can always check our outdoors calendar page. And likewise, if you have an event and it's coming up and you want to get some advertisement on it, go ahead and send us a note. We'll put it right there on our calendar page.
Look at that precious little face. Not yours, his. Hey, when you're out with your family and your friends and you have an amazing outdoor experience kind of like this, make sure to take your camera like everybody has here, take a few pictures and submit them to our snapshot contest. Now here it is, the best of the week, our snapshot of the week. See if you can beat that baby bear.
We kick it off with a big fish in the middle of the night. Thomas took his son to the Weber on a full moon evening, and his son yelled from about 50 yards downstream, "Dad, I've got a monster on." Dad ran down to watch his son reel in this 25-inch, 6-pound buck brown. 8-year-old Hayden was right there to help his dad, Carson, harvest this Boone and Crockett ram after 8 hard days of hunting the Zion unit. Hayden's mom, sister, and little brother were able to watch the whole hunt through the spotting scope. Dad says this hunt truly turned into the hunt of a lifetime for his family. Steve's dad, John Crayenbull, drew a desert sheep tag, the third once-in-a-lifetime tag John has drawn. The stars aligned perfectly as John was able to harvest this beautiful stud of a ram that scored 176 6/8, making it number 2 in Utah all time. Quite an accomplishment for a 69-year-old, to say the least, and a hunt that Steve will always remember as the one he shared with his dad. Super Bowl Sunday at the Gorge proved to be a real winner. 20 minutes before they had to leave to catch kickoff, Jay hooked up with this bruiser Mac. Jason says it was well worth the time, patience, and they still made it home for kickoff. But our winner tonight is one patient young hunter. 8-year-old Clint has been on many coyote hunts, but things just never seemed to go his way. In fact, he was getting a little impatient, and everyone knew it. A couple days after Christmas, Clint reluctantly decided to go out with Dad and his big brother Kaysen. Kaysen even let him borrow his brand new 17 HMR. Finally, after a couple of empty stands, Clint got a 134-yard shot and claimed his trophy. The young man is already making plans on how he's going to spend his $50 bounty. And to add to that, Clint, we're sending you our big prize for having just won, our Snapshot of the Week. Remember, submit your pictures or video plus a brief explanation of your latest outdoor adventures online at ksltv.com. The winner each week wins the new Striker Stove from Camp Chef, perfect for ice fishing or for the backcountry.
It's always nice to have a warm meal at any outdoor adventure. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
I don't know about you guys, but that was a record for me. What was that? 2 bear dens?
5 bears.
5 bears?
Yes.
As long as you've been doing this, that's still pretty good for you, I
That's
imagine.
a great day.
Yeah.
Yep. This helps us track the population to see where it's going and lets us know when we're going to have a population increase. So it's good information.
Someday I'll draw a bear tag. Now I know where not to go. Don't shoot the sows, right?
That's right. That's right. Or the ones with collars.
Or the ones with collars. Leave the collars alone?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll definitely leave. And if you do by chance do it, then bring it to you guys.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it.
Cool. Very good. Well, thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Guy, Dustin.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, guys. You brought the Rugrats? Sox fan. Look at this kid. Okay. You're a football fan? Good deal. I'm Adam Eakle, KSL Outdoors. Reminding you to get your family, your friends, your little kids, and get them out and experience Utah's wilds. We'll see you next weekend. Good night. What do you think of that, huh?
They're cute, but I don't know if I can handle them.
Yeah, that's right.